Hey everybody, welcome to Big Valley Living. I'm Michelle.
And I'm JJ.
We are making salsa verde today. And boy, oh boy, we don't know how much we're going to end up with. Right now we have a sink full of tomatillos, a 50-pound bag of white onions, a 5-pound bag of, what are those?
Anaheim chilies and
Yeah.
a 5-pound bag of jalapenos, which they probably won't all be used, but
And a little bit of lime juice, and off we go. So we're going to be grilling all the vegetables for this and canning them in regular mouth pint-sized jars, hopefully to have at least a year's worth of salsa because we use it for a lot of different recipes as well as for chips and salsa for snacks. So we're going to show you around a little bit on what we're doing, and you're just going to get bits and pieces, and then we'll show you what we end up with at the end. Okay, so little fact for you. Tomatillos are
also known as Mexican husk tomatoes.
And JJ's going to show you how to remove a husk, and maybe you've never done
So
this
as you
before.
can see, we're kind of getting toward the end of this here. So they have the husk and the tomatillos actually inside. I don't know if you can see that, but they come like this, and then you just peel this back and around, and it's kind of sticky, whatever, it's sticky inside there, but just pull it off the core and then into the thing. So this, I haven't done anything to this one. I didn't do anything to the other one either, but you just peel it back.
Watch for any really nasty bruises or anything like that. We're not too picky, but if it looks pretty gross or there's a hole in it, we're letting them go because we bought 5-pound bags at Costco.
Yeah, so we got 25 pounds of these bad boys, and I don't know that we need that many.
Yeah, we're just giving them a good rinse here. We've already rinsed them out once, and so I'm just showing you. That is one sink full of tomatillos, everybody. And then these are the husks that we're going to take out to the composter. Just going to give these a little bit of a rinse. We're going to leave these as they are before we blister them on the grill. And then I'll sweat them out and peel them and take all the seeds and everything out at that point. And now it's time to do give the jalapenos a bath. And again, we're just rinsing them off to make sure they don't have a lot of dirt. And take a look at them, make sure we don't have any really bruised peppers. These look really good. So, you've all seen onions being sliced. And we're going to be doing a lot of them. So, all I'm going to do here is take off the paper layer and the outer layer. Put them off into the compost box. And let's get that out. And I'm just going to slice them in half to grill. I actually want to do them this way, down the equator, so that I can grill them on each side like this to get a lot of the char flavor. That's what makes this salsa so good and sets it apart from the store-bought salsas, is the amount of char that you can get. Everything's cleaned and ready to hit the grill. JJ has the gas grill heating up as well as the charcoal grill. This was inspired by Linda's Pantry. She is a really, really good canner, and she's got great recipes. We really, really like her and have learned a lot from her. But we're following the guidelines from the USDA Complete Guide to Home Canning. And if you buy the version that was revised in 2015, the ratio here is 5 cups of chopped tomatillos, 1.5 cups of seeded chopped long green chilies. That's the Anaheims that we're using. 1/2 cup of seeded finely chopped jalapeno peppers, 4 cups of chopped onions, 1 cup of bottled lemon juice, 6 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, which is optional. We're going to use it. 3 tablespoons of oregano leaves. We are using that. We are using Mexican oregano. Yum. And the lemon juice, we're actually going to use bottled lime juice because it gives it a super awesome flavor. A tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of black pepper. Now, for each one of what I just read, it yields about 5 pints. So given how much we have, we're thinking we're going to have somewhere between 20 and 30 pints. We'll see if it works out that way. So JJ's charring the green peppers on the gas grill. We have a camp chef, and we're dropping them. And as soon as they're done, see how they're getting black right there? And as soon as they're done, we're going to go ahead and sweat them off in a Tupperware. That's a bowl, actually. Woo, they're popping. There we go. So he's just going to pack that grill full of jalapenos. By then, it'll probably be time to take the other ones out and off of the gas grill.
Yep.
The idea when you're grilling peppers to peel them off is to make sure that they start splitting. See how that skin is splitting right off? And we got a good char most of the way around. I'm hoping that's not going to be a problem right there. And then also key is to get them sealed up right away. You can put plastic wrap over a bowl or something if you want, but we've got this Tupperware and we're hoping that's going to be big enough. So, little tip for you. And we're going to use the gas grill to get these onions charred. And I want to point out that while you want to maximize your fuel and your time, don't crowd your vegetables too much or they'll end up steaming versus charring. You need a little bit of space between them. I may have even gotten a little too close here, but I just want to show you. And now JJ is putting the jalapenos from the charcoal grill into a little pan that has a lid to sweat those off. And I think the remaining ones that we have in the bowl, I don't know if he's going to do them or not. I guess we can. We can just put them on nachos later.
Yep.
All right, after maybe 3 or 4 minutes on each side, this is the char we have on the onions. This is 10 minutes later. Here are the Anaheims sweating off, and you can see that that's going to peel off pretty easily, okay? So I'm going to put that back on real quick and see, there's the sweat. And then the jalapenos. Oh yeah, so keep that steam in there, because that's going to work in our favor. All right. Now we have our tomatillos going on. This is the last of what needs to be charred outside. And as you can see, I put them all stem side down, and that'll make it easy to know that, you know, they've all been turned, right? So then when they come over, we'll just turn them over one time. We just want to get a nice char on the outside because everything's going to go into one pot after they get chopped. And for a little perspective, I've just turned everything over. And that's pretty much how it's going to go until we're done with that big old pot of tomatillos. We are back in the house and everything has been charred on the grills. There you go. I'm not going to zoom in and out. All those tomatillos ended up, after they got smaller, into a large pan. We've got these peppers that I'm getting ready to peel. They're very nice and soft, and then the jalapenos are right here. Those are going to be stemmed and seeded, but I'm going to leave the char on those just like we are the tomatillos. So I'm going to show you how to peel an Anaheim chili, and then we're just going to get busy assembling everything because we do have to put it into a big pot and cook it down and spice it and everything and add the proper acid. So we still have a little ways to go. Definitely want to have a discard bowl here. And look at how nice that peels when you give it time. Now, alternatively, you don't need to char these on a grill. You could use your electric broiler, or you could, if you have a gas stove, you could just char them on the stove top. We have an electric stove, and just given the sheer quantity that we had, it just made sense for us to go out and use the grill. And it's Nice and windy today. There's a storm. Thankfully, there's a storm coming in. You guys, it was 116 last week in the Big Valley. We actually set a record in the downtown Sacramento. It was 116.1 at our house at the hottest part of the day in the sunshine. Okay, so that is really what I'm going to do all the way around, and then I'm going to chop them up. And as you can see, I've got quite a few to go. And if we don't have enough at the end of the day to match how many tomatillos we have, I kind of hedged my bets and bought a big can, and it's like a number 10 can of roasted peppers, mild green peppers, because we're not going to be out there grilling all day long. This is a pretty gargantuan effort. So as you can see, we've changed our clothes because today is tomorrow.
Day 2.
So we got a lot more than we anticipated, and we really like our roasted tomato sauce. So before we put the lime juice into our salsa verde, we went ahead and put it into our roaster. And it's been roasting all night. And now we're going to just take out batches, make sure that we have the appropriate amount of lime juice in it, and we're going to start steam canning. And steam canning is sort of JJ's forte.
Yeah. It's,
Not his forte, his forte.
whatever.
Come on, that was funny.
So yeah, a lot of executive decisions were made. You know, we didn't realize that, 25 pounds of tomatillos would be
Crazy!
40 cups of tomatillos, right? So then we had to have
The appropriate amounts of onions, 32 cups
right
of roasted onions.
So everything just went up exponentially. So that's why we thought we'll just leave out the lime juice, and then we'll do it 20 cups at a time, which is doubling the recipe.
And that is how much we have.
So lucky us, on the inside of this guy, I don't know if we can see, but there are lines that tell us. So there are 20 cups of salsa verde in there, and we're going to add 2 cups of lime juice.
Now the recipe calls for lemon juice. You cannot substitute vinegar for that. However, we did go on to the, which website did you go on to last night?
The National Center for Home Food Preservation.
And it did say that bottled lime juice is absolutely a good stand-in, if you wish, for bottled lemon juice. So this is exactly where we want it to be when we start timing for 20 minutes. It's a gentle boil, but please be mindful of the fact that even with your heavy bottom saucepan, you're going to want to make sure that when you stir it, you stir from the bottom so that nothing sticks, okay? Because it's going to have that tendency. Even if you didn't roast it, it's, after your stick blender, it's going to be pretty thick.
It'll still definitely want to stick. So.
Yeah. So anyway, we're setting the timer for 20 minutes, and when we have that done, we're going to remove it from the heat and start the actual filling of the jars. Okay, here we go. So we have several canning videos. I'm just going to show you what I do to fill these, and we will link our canning playlist to this video at the end, okay? So we removed the salsa verde from the stove after we timed it for 20 minutes on a gentle boil and kept stirring. The jars are really, really hot because we had them in our electric canner staying warm. Modern canning guidelines state that you do not have to keep your lids in hot water anymore while you're waiting to can. So we have cleaned ours, and I have them in this cool little stand that my neighbor got for me, and I just really love using it, and I'll show it to you. This salsa has a 1/2 inch headspace, and I am using a tool that is showing me where the 1/2 inch is. Again, we're not going to go through every single detail, You do need to debubble this, and if you have any settling, you can adjust the amount of salsa in each jar accordingly. And let's see here. I'll put that in there. I like to keep things off of the table and everything, and don't touch those jars. They're really hot. And I'm hoping, yeah, you can see me filling this. That's great. So these tools that we're using are super handy, and we do go over them in our canning videos. I'm going to fill all 4 of these, debubble as necessary, adjust the headspace if I need to. Then I'm going to wipe each jar, rim. Oh, there's a little bit too much in there. I'm going to do each jar lid with a clean paper towel and some vinegar. So we just ran out of juice in the battery, and while JJ changed the battery, so I want to show you, when you have anything like jelly or jam or salsa, you're going to have a little bit more of the product on the jar. And see, so with every swipe, you're going to get a little bit of something. And you need to make sure that before you put your lid on, that your rim is clear of any debris. Okay, that one's good. And for the sake of just getting these going, I'm going to put my lids on. Center the lids on the clean jars. I have one back there that I didn't clean yet, so I'm just going to put these on.
Okay, so she wanted to show you we have 8 pints in the steam canner. Yeah, that's it. And that's what's allowed. And so the water is at 180 degrees. In this particular one, if you have a hot pack, it's at 180 degrees. Whatever your steam canner instructions tell you to do, please follow those instructions. This is our target zone over here. And initially when we got this, there are instructions with your steam canner to do things to know where your zone is. Ours is actually up pretty high up in the top here, or dark green zone. And that's just the instructions that came with our canner to mark where our zone is. So now we're going to bring this up to temperature and get it up into our zone. And the instructions for this particular recipe are for 15 minutes. So we'll keep it up there for 15 minutes, and
then we'll turn off the heat.
Then we'll turn off the heat, let it sit for 5 minutes because that's the rule for steam canning, and then we're able to remove them.
And then they'll sit for 18 to 24 hours, and tomorrow we'll clean them, remove the rings, clean them off, label them, and throw them in the pantry.
And we'll bring you back to show you what we put out on the counter with this set. So here we go. This is our second steam canner load going on. The last pot that needs to be canned, and the first set out of the canner.
So what we're going to do is put the instructions and the recipe for 1 10-pint, and that's approximate, canner load of salsa verde in the description below. Thanks a lot for coming to Big Valley Living. We really appreciate you coming by. And if you would be so kind as to share this with your friends, like and subscribe, we'd appreciate it. We just hit 300, and that's a big deal for us. So thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, everybody.
Be kind.
See you later, everybody.
Be kind.